The healthcare items that I've been working on the healthcare committee have been the certificate of need, which regulates how hospitals, dialysis, a lot of other functions are administered in the state of North Carolina, and it's never been modified. So we've been working on that. Also on healthcare expansion to make it easier for small groups to be able to buy healthcare in North Carolina. So I've already visited 8 mental health facilities and 2 of our major mental health hospitals in the state. And what I found is that we're not getting people out of those facilities fast enough. They're ready to be sent out and discharged from the facility, but there's no place to put them. So we're working on that. And because we can't discharge people, we're keeping people in emergency rooms way too long.
The very first vote I took as a legislator appointed back in August was $800 million of state money for disaster recovery. And as an insurance agent, we all look at ourselves and go, we can do this better. We can have a private market solution for a public problem. So from that very moment I took that vote, I started looking at certain things, and so I'm grateful with these fellows' support that we were able just to yesterday pass a bill that would basically reform the school insurance program for property and disaster. Back at the beginning of this session, I attended NCOIL, the National Coalition of Insurance Legislators, and it is a group that gets together insurance legislators like myself and industry and regulators, and we all get into a room and try to figure out common sense solutions to major weighty problems. And I was grateful to attend my first one in Nashville, and then from there be appointed as the chairwoman for the natural disaster recovery. And our charge is to adopt a model law that we can make regulatory framework to make it easy for insurance carriers to get into the flood program and also for consumers to buy it.
Early on, we've been working with the department to modernize our rate bureau, especially focused on private passenger auto. In the state of North Carolina, our subsidization of high-risk drivers as well as inexperienced operators it affects anyone that drives in the state. And so what we're trying to do is basically keep that system in place, because it does help us with keeping our rates down, but also modernizing it to the point to where it's sustainable and it eliminates or at least reduces the subsidization of clean drivers onto these high-risk drivers. So we're not quite to the finish line yet. We've still got a little work to do, but hopefully we can wrap it up pretty soon. Well, I think one thing you realize really quick when I got here is a lot of folks that have been making decisions on insurance law and regulation really didn't understand insurance to begin with. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything, but they just have not worked in it. And insurance is such a complicated thing that without the experience that Vicki and Jim and myself have, as well as Representative Corbin, it's hard to actually work on these laws and understand the effects to the consumer. So that's one thing that I've seen that's very beneficial to the General Assembly, is to have someone that's actually in the industry.
In my day-to-day life as an insurance agent, you are on the middleman between your customer and the company, and it seems like you actually have to translate the legislation, the laws, and try to make your customer understand what that is. Every time I pick up the phone when a constituent calls, I'm in the same spot that I was before. I feel like I am their agent, except this time, instead of representing insurance, I'm representing the people of North Carolina to the state of North Carolina, and I'm that middleman. So I think it is a match made in heaven, and I encourage anyone out there who would like to be a legislator in insurance to please apply.
I think all of us, the reason we've been successful in our business is because of great customer service and developing relationships. And what I've discovered up here is the relationship makes so much difference in getting anything done. Just our relationship with the different other members, the relationship with the lobbyists that come in, and also seeing our constituents. And I encourage you, go see your members. Come up here and visit. We have a lot of lobbyists in the building. We need to see more of our constituents in the building.